Part 138. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Which John Word. Chapter 1371. Chapter 1371, If you feel unhappy, you should do something fun. There is really more and more news on the internet. Lee Baiken looked for children everywhere. At this time, Mr. Chien came in front of Lee Baiken again and made trouble for Lee Baiken. Even brought the matter to the board of directors. Huo Linyuan just watched the video. Watching Mr. Chien questioning Lee Baiken on the board of directors of Lee Group. Mr. Chien, Lee Baiken, what are you doing? Do you not want to sit in this position? If you really don't want to sit in this position, then just let someone else sit. You are like this now. Let all our interests pay for your behavior. Are you becoming more and more unworthy of this position? Lee Baiken, what do you mean by this? Does it mean that you can sit in this position? Mr. Chien, haha, what's wrong with me sitting in this position? The interests of all of us are very important. If I really want to contribute to everyone's interests, then I can make sacrifices. Huo Linyuan was really happy to see the tense situation. In fact, Huo Linyuan really wanted to run directly to the scene. But Huo Linyuan felt a little scared. After all, the child was not here now. With the child not in hand, I really feel a little unsure. Now Huo Linyuan knows very well that there are smoke bombs outside, whether it is Sun Yan's matter or the child's matter, they are all smoke bombs to hide the shares. But even this is the case. Huo Linyuan also hopes that Mo Bao's matter can become a practical matter. If Mo Bao's matter really becomes a reality, then I will really have more chips in my hand. It will be better. Huo Linyuan also knew that this might be a smoke bomb released by Sunian, and he also understood that such a thing was a bit dangerous. But Huo Linyuan had to take a gamble. After all, Lan Min is still in prison. That is his woman. Not to mention other things, everyone knows that Lan Min is his woman. If Lan Min's child is really born in prison, then his face will really be severely punished by Sunian. Trampled underfoot. How could Huo Linyuan let such a thing happen? Huo Linyuan turned off the video, thought about it, and then made a phone call. An hour later, Sun Yan appeared in front of Sunian. Sunian was stunned when he saw Sun Yan appearing in front of him. How come this guy is included in this drama? Sun Yan jumped directly in front of Sunian. Mrs. Lee, I can understand your current mood, but you really don't have to worry. I believe that your child will be fine and will be auspicious. Sunian looked at this woman. What is this operation? Could it be that Huo Linyuan wanted to test her and see if Mo Bao was a smoke bomb that he had released, so as to disgust himself and affect his operation? If this guy really did this, then this guy is really a bit too vicious. Super vicious to be able to think of such a thing. What are you doing here? Sunian directly grabbed Sun Yan's hair. Do you think that I was not cruel to you before, so you think that I am not terrible, and you even think that I am a kind person? Haha, I'm sorry, I can even be said to have a dark heart. I'm definitely not a kind person. I feel very unhappy now. If I feel unhappy, then I should do something that makes me feel happy. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Which John Word. Chapter 1372. Chapter 1372 The male protagonist's cards. After Sunian finished saying this, he stepped forward and slapped her twice. No mercy at all. Sun Yan came according to Huo Linyuan's wishes. Of course Sun Yan also came here with a gloating mood, even a little bit of schadenfreude. She silently prayed to God in her heart, hoping that Sunian would not be found for the rest of her life and would die of depression. She really didn't expect that Sunian would take action directly like this. Sunian then took action again. Sunian, you are crazy, How dare you attack me, Sun Yan screamed. Sun Yan stopped when he heard this. Then he grabbed Sun Yan's clothes. What are you talking about? Haha, do you want to know what you are talking about? What is your identity? What capital do you have? Are you relying on the fact that you are Huo Linyuan's dog? Haha, I really didn't expect that Sun Yan, was so bad that I couldn't even touch one of Huo Linyuan's dogs. Sun Yan is like this, there is no possibility of fighting back. In the end, he was beaten into a pig's head. Then he fell to the ground like a rag doll. I know what you are thinking, but I am warning you not to have inappropriate thoughts. You must know your identity. If you really dare to see my jokes, then I can do anything. Sun Yan was really a little scared at this moment. Because the way Sun Yan looked at this moment, it really seemed like he could do. The current situation has made Sun Yan even have no idea of escape. What to do now, what to do now? At this moment, a cold voice sounded, Sun Yan, why are you so aggressive? The weather is gradually entering autumn, and it's not good for you to be so angry. Sun Yan turned his head and walked along the look in the direction of the sound. I saw Huo Linyuan. Then he smiled and said, Master Huo, if you want to find me, then you can just go to me. Why are you so nagging? Are you really a big shot and you still need to show off? If that's the case, if so, just tell me directly, and I will definitely greet you with an 8-carriage sedan. Sun Yan, I can understand your current mood, but since you are in such a hurry, you should do what you should do. Sun Yan wanted to laugh a little when he heard this. Is this the male protagonist's card? Actually said it directly. What I should do, haha, tell me what I should do and how to do it, tell me. Huo Linyuan walked to Sun Yan's side and helped her up. He asked Sun Yan to come here as a test, so just now, he had been watching from the side, hoping to see flaws in Sun Yan's face. But this Sun Yan's behavior is really a bit, well, it's indeed normal. But I always feel a little weird. You clearly know where your son is, but you don't look for it? Sun Yan, I really don't know what you are thinking. I even think you are acting. Why do you, like this, are you real? Do you want your child to be okay? Huo Linyuan, what do you mean? Huo Linyuan smiled contemptuously, a mother who regards her children as her own life, knows that her children are in danger, but does nothing and is still acting here, haha, it's really enough. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1373. Chapter 1373. What did I force you to do? Sun Yan really thinks so. This male protagonist is really awesome. It is not ordinary. How can you say that? This male protagonist is not clear about his position. Even though Mo Bao is not in his hands now, his current personality is not that of a hostage taker. The way he is acting now, he really almost said that your son is in my hands, you'd better beg me in front of me obediently, come and beg me quickly, hurry up. This male protagonist is really impatient. No patience at all. Since this is the case, then what else can I do but continue acting? Huo Linyuan, you and I are both smart people, and we have been fighting each other for such a long time. Stop talking nonsense. Just do what you want to do. There is no need to be so hesitant. I am not complaining, but you are complaining. I can say that I am putting all the cards in front of you. After all, as a man, of course I have to admit what I have done. I am not like you women. It's grinding and whining, it's not straightforward at all, it's really boring and tight. Sun Yan frowned after Huo Linyuan said this. Huo Linyuan, What evidence do you have to prove that my child is in your hands? You have no evidence, but you came in front of me and lied to me like this, ha ha ha. Do you think it's really interesting? Do you really not believe it? Do you really not know that there is a saying, if you are not afraid of 10,000, be afraid of 10,000, if what I say is true, if your son is in my hands? Then what if you are just lying to me? What if my son is not in your hands at all, and if I delay searching for my child because of this, then I will regret it for the rest of my life. The two people just looked at each other. At this moment, Huo Linyuan really admired Sunian. This Sunian was really the first woman who made him feel evenly matched. However, just because he felt this situation, this Sunian could not exist in this world. Because this woman exists in this world, it shows his incompetence. Can't let this happen. I really want to know why you think so. You are so sure because I am lying to you. What basis do you have? Tell me carefully. I especially want to know what your basis is. Is it true? I'm very curious, super curious, what is the basis for this? Because I think Mr. Huo, you are not the kind of person who can threaten a woman with a child. You cannot do such a shameless, despicable, and shocking thing. These words really made Huo Linyuan not know what to say. This Sunian is really good at talking. Sunian smiled inwardly when he saw Huo Linyuan's expression. Hey, that's what's bad about a moral male protagonist, so how could such a male protagonist outplay his immoral female counterpart? This round with a favorable wind is really good. Master Huo, why don't you speak? Tell me instead, am I wrong in my evaluation of you? Are you really the kind of person who has no morals and can do anything? In order to achieve your own goals, you can kidnap even a child under 3 years old. No, no, why are you such a person? You really disappoint me. Sunian, you really know how to speak, you are really good at speaking. I admit, I can't speak to you, okay. Master Huo, Mr. Huo, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by admitting it? The way you look like this really makes me think that you are being forced to do something by me. What did I do? Please tell me carefully. I forced you to do something. What did you do? End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1374. Chapter 1374. Are you really not afraid of what I will do to your son? Huo Linyuan took a few steps towards Sunian when Sunian finished speaking. Close the distance between two people. Are you really not afraid of what I will do to your son? Of course I'm afraid. I'm really scared to death right now. You haven't seen it? My body is shaking when I'm talking to you. Huo Linyi, are you satisfied with me like this? Sunian looked scared when he said this. But Sunian's behavior was as fake as possible. It could even be said to be fake. Huo Linyuan felt that he was a fool in Sunian's eyes. A complete idiot. This situation really made Huo Linyuan a little angry. Sunian, what do you mean now? Do you really want to see your son's body? Haha, my son's body, you threatened me with a child, and you threatened me so blatantly, you can really do it, you really opened my eyes. Huo Linyuan, what should I do now? You tell me, what should I do now? Should I kneel in front of you now, and then please, give me my child, let me go? Huo Linyuan, I will ask you, if you do this, will it satisfy my idea and just let us go? After Sunian said these words, Huo Linyuan frowned. Because Huo Linyuan really feels a little weird now. It was as if the current atmosphere was in Sunian's hands. This feeling is really uncomfortable. Huo Linyuan wanted to speak and take back this control. But Sunian didn't even think about Huo Linyuan's words and said directly, I guess you really think so in your heart, but I still have some moral integrity. I can't do such unethical things. Unlike it's you, a dignified 7-foot-tall man who can live in this world without moral integrity. I really admire you. Sunian, you are so arrogant in front of me now. Do you know that you are causing trouble for your son? Even your son. Sunian gave him a slap in the face. That's right, he gave Huo Linyuan a slap in the face. This slap really blinded everyone. Josu immediately entered combat mode. Sunian also regretted why he was so bold, but he only regretted it a little bit. After all, playing the male protagonist was really exciting, super exciting. That Avery's famous saying is really good. Since you are chasing excitement, then follow through to the end. Sun Yan next to her didn't expect that Sunian was so bold. Now she was really afraid of Sunian. After all, this Sunian could even beat Huo Linyuan. But Sun Yan was really looking forward to it. You must know that Huo Linyuan is not a simple person. Sunian, a woman, beat Huo Linyuan like this. If Huo Linyuan really doesn't do anything, what will happen to Huo Linyuan's face if word gets out? Now I really hope that Huo Linyuan can torture Sunian to death, and even make this Sunian disappear from this world. If this Sunian can disappear from this world, when she thinks of this, Sun Yan is really looking forward to it. He even felt that if Sunian died, Sun Ying'er would definitely die as well, and he could make Sun Ying'er pay the price. Huo Linyuan, don't let her down. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1375. Chapter 1375 Bet on who will win this game. When Huo Linyuan reacted, his eyes almost turned red. Sunian, do you know what you are doing? Who gave you the courage to attack me? When Huo Linyuan said this, he looked towards Sunian, raised his hand. Huo Linyuan, what do you mean? Do you want to attack a woman like me directly? Ha ha ha, I really feel that I am a bit powerful now. I really feel that I am the most powerful in the world. I can actually kill the dignified young master Huo. So angry. At these words, Huo Linyuan's hand stopped in mid-air. Come on, come and beat me. I want the whole world to know what this Huo Linyuan is. You can beat a mother who is going crazy looking for her child, so that everyone in the world can comment and study. Come on, this is not your true face, Huo Linyuan. What would you think if you really think that this is your appearance? When Huo Linyuan heard this, his eyes really wanted to kill Sunian. But the look in his eyes made Sunian feel more and more irritated, super irritated and excited at the same time. Why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? What are you waiting for? Are you afraid, Mr. Huo? Ha ha ha, I really didn't expect that you would be afraid. What is there to be afraid of? This. Sunian, do you think I don't understand what you mean by this? You are just irritating me. You think I am really easily irritated? I hope you can figure one thing out. Now you have me to blame. In the hand. Huo Linyuan, do you have any evidence? What evidence do you have to prove that my son is in your hands? Ha ha ha, you really think you can deceive me with this method? If I, Sunian, are really you, you can. If I cheated casually, I wouldn't be here. Huo Linyuan immediately understood when he saw Sunian like this. Sunian definitely doesn't believe this. But Huo Linyuan was not in a hurry at all. Huo Linyuan knew very well that the more Sunian behaved like this, the more it proved that his child would become crazier in his hands. I must find the child now. But Huo Linyuan also told himself in his heart that he must calm down. This Sunian is very cunning. And my focus has never been here. My focus has always been on Mr. Qian, and I just want to make things worse. This will facilitate other things, so don't be fooled by Sunian. You must be sure of your own situation. Must be firm. Sunian, you are a gambler now. When Sunian heard Huo Linyuan's words, She raised her eyebrows slightly. What do you mean? Why am I a gambler? I am a very clean person. When you say this, you really feel that I am nothing. Good man, I tell you, you must not talk nonsense. If you do, I will be rude to you. You are so arrogant now because you think your child is not in my hands and you don't believe me at all. But have you really never heard the saying that if you are not afraid of 10,000, be afraid of what? What if your child really wants to? It's in my hands, so aren't you finished? Then let's make a good bet on who can win in our game. Huo Linyuan, I dare to do it anyway, but I don't know whether you dare or not. You are really a failure as a mother to gamble with your child's safety. Sunian looked at the male protagonist and felt that if the person who lied told the lie, he might really believe what he said. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1376. Chapter 1376 Mo Bao's laughter. After this time, Sunian really spread the news about looking for Mo Bao. Mo Bao stayed in the room obediently. That's right, just stay in the room. Sunian felt really distressed when she saw her baby being so well behaved. He made a promise to Mo Bao. As long as this matter is resolved, then let's play whatever we want with Mo Bao. When Mo Bao saw his mother like this, he silently pointed to the side. Mom, you really don't have to worry about me. I really won't be bored. After all, I have this uncle with me. The person Mo Bao refers to is none other than Lu Jing. Lu Jing was not happy after being called out by Mo Bao. After all, Mo Bao's words made him and Mo Bao the same child. Let's figure it out. I am obviously helping Sunian reduce the burden. I obviously have a lot to bear, okay. The kind with very heavy responsibilities. Auntie, don't worry. I will definitely take good care of Mo Bao. I will definitely not let anything happen to Mo Bao, because I think this is a good opportunity. I can prove my opportunity to you and Aunt Sunday. After all, in your eyes, I, Lu Jing, am an unreliable person. I hope to find an opportunity to prove that I am not following you in vain. I am following you and I have really learned how to do it. A lot. When Lu Jing said this, he couldn't help but hold his head high. But Sunian frowned when he heard this. Ahem, I know what you mean, and I understand your good intentions, but I really hope that you can find a different approach. After all, the current situation is not optimistic. I feel, so I appreciate your kindness. What does it mean to be well-meaning? You are my aunt. As an aunt, how can you say that to your own nephew? Do you know that the more you act like this, the more likely you are? It's a blow to me, the more I can't progress. Sunian felt really bad when he saw Lu Jing like this. I really feel that this is a bit too much. But when such an idea just appeared, Sun Ying'er pulled her clothes and leaned her slightly closer to her. After Sunian leaned over, Sun Ying'er said, Nian Nian, actually Lu Jing said so much, he just plays with our Mo Bao. You must know that this is the old house of the Li family, it can even be said to belong to the Li family. Base camp, if Huo Linyuan really had the ability to break into this place, then we wouldn't have fought with Huo Linyuan for so long. Sunian's eyes suddenly lit up when he heard this. This look is like a sudden enlightenment. But at this moment, Lu Jing became a little uneasy. Hey, you are really going a little too far. I admit that my brain is not good, but why is my brain not so good? Okay, but my ears are still fine. Why are your voices so loud? Your loud voices really make me feel that you treat me as a fool. Please respect me a little. Sunian and Sun Ying'er subconsciously looked over after hearing this. Then they both said in unison, "Okay, next time we will definitely speak softer, and we will definitely take your feelings into consideration." But it was better not to say this. The more he said this, it really made Lu Jing's face become worse and worse. "Humph, I won't argue with you two ants. I decided to perform well and let you see what I am capable of. After all, time can answer all questions, so let's use time to prove it." After Lu Jing said this, Mo Bao's laughter rang out. And Mo Bao smiled like this. It really pushed the effect to its peak. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Zhang Word. Chapter 1377. Chapter 1377, A Great Joke in the World. Everything is so noisy. Li's group. Li Baikan is not someone to be trifled with. Carry out a counter-attack immediately. The person who started to clean up Mr. Qian. You must know that the proportion of money in the entire company is really very small. Cleaning up Mr. Qian is really easier than before. After all, given the situation of Mr. Qian, the positions that can be arranged are not high. Mr. Qian's people were easily eliminated. It can even be said that it is being cleaned up like garbage. In such a situation, it is better to give no money at all. Zhong Qian was very angry when he saw this situation. Immediately went to Li Baikan angrily. The moment he saw Li Baikan, he immediately said directly, "Li Baikan, what are you doing? What do you think of our company as my own plaything? You were not in the company before and didn't care about the company. Forget it, what does it matter now? You are expelling people casually. What does this mean? I will expel those who should be expelled, and I will give perfect reasons for everyone. If you are not satisfied with my reasons, then you can give them. I said, as long as you say it, I will definitely explain to you why I used this reason. If you are really dissatisfied, then you are looking for trouble with me, or even deal with me, then I no complaints either." Li Baikan, what do you mean by this? Do you think that I am a fool? Do you really think that I don't know that you are here for me? You are really going too far. Although I don't have many shares in the company, but I have worked hard in the company for so many years. With your current situation, you are really not afraid of chilling the hearts of our older generation. When Mr. Qian finished saying this, a joking smile appeared on Li Baikan's face, and then he said, for example. Mr. Qian asked subconsciously, "For example, what do you mean by this? Don't bully me for not understanding. You are really going too far. I am your elder. What have I done for our company over the years? You don't know at all, you white-eyed wolf. I just want to give you an example. You have stayed in our company for so many years. It can even be said that you have stayed in the company since you were a little older and contributed to our company. I really want to know what contributions you have made to our company. What contribution have you made to our company? Give me an example, give me a little bit of credibility, so that I can know exactly what I did, so that I can properly apologize to you." When Mr. Qian heard this, he subconsciously wanted to speak, but when he did, he seemed to realize something and shut up immediately. Li Baikan snorted coldly after seeing Mr. Qian shut up. "Huh, why don't you speak? You can't say anything. Don't forget how you got your shares. What do you mean by this? How did I get my shares? What you mean by this is that you really seem to be calculating my shares. Let me tell you, don't mess around. If you really mess around, then I'm really rude to you. What else can I mean? I'm just reminding you a little bit. I even feel that if I don't remind you, you might think that your shares are based on your own performance and your work ability. You are in my. It's okay to think like this in front of others, but if you think like this in front of others, you are really the most ridiculous person in the world." End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jung Word. Chapter 1378. Chapter 1378 Lee Baiken, you are really crazy. Mr. Chien was not afraid at all. Lee Baiken, you are really crazy now, but I really want to know, will you be able to be crazy again in a while? And your son has disappeared recently, aren't you really worried? Sure enough, when Mr. Chien said the word son, Lee Baiken's mood became worse and worse. You have spent so much effort looking for your son, but you can't find it. Don't you want to think about why you can't find it? Looking at you like this, I really feel that you don't care about your son at all. Let me tell you, God is watching what you do. The more you behave like this, the less God will make it easy for you. I believe God will definitely find trouble for you. After all, God is fair no matter where he is. After Mr. Chien said this time, before Lee Baiken had time to react, the person following Mr. Chien spoke up, Mr. Lee, Mr. Chien, calm down first. We are all from the same company, and in a certain way we are also a family. If we are a family, then why do we always say this? The more we say this, it will be bad for everyone's feelings. When people outside see it, they really feel very bad. Mr. Chien looked directly at him. What did you say? What did you say? You know what you said, you are on my side, and don't forget it, you. Mr. Chien was interrupted before he finished speaking. Mr. Chien, don't be angry. Don't be angry. Being angry is really not good for your health. If you really want to teach me a lesson, then you can teach me whatever you want, I won't say anything. When the man said this, he walked up to Lee Baiken and Mr. Chien. Well, I'm just a small person, and you are big people. If you really have any anger, then you can vent it on me directly. I certainly won't say anything. After this person said this, Lee Baiken punched him directly. That's right, it's a punch. That one is called a neat one. When Mr. Chien saw this scene, he suddenly lost his composure. Lee Baiken, what on earth do you want to do? Do you just not take me into consideration? You are really going too far. But Lee Baiken said expressionlessly, this guy said it, you can vent it on him. Since he said this in front of me, if I don't satisfy him, then what will I become? This person is famous for his good intentions. Mr. Chien, if you really have any requests, you can ask me. I can guarantee that no matter what rude requests you have, as long as you say them, then I'll definitely help you get it done. When Mr. Chien heard this, he subconsciously rushed towards Lee Baiken. At this moment, the man stopped in front of them. Mr. Chien, don't be angry. There is really no need to be angry. Don't forget your body. If something goes wrong with your body, it's really not good. When he said this, he always pulled money out. And he said to Lee Baiken with a smile, Mr. Lee, Mr. Chien's temper is really bad. Don't worry, as someone close to Mr. Chien, I will definitely advise Mr. Chien to take good care of his body, so I will take care of him first. The money always goes away. When he said this, he just took Chien and left. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jung Word. Chapter 1379. Chapter 1379 Why do I feel like a scumbag? After Mr. Chien was pulled outside, he shook this guy away hard. What's going on with you? Why are you so cowardly in front of Lee Baiken? Even if you were so cowardly before, why are you so cowardly now? I really wonder if the master behind you is lying to me. In fact, there is no so-called ability at all, you are just a bunch of cowards and you are just lying to me. When the man saw Mr. Chien like this, he had a helpless expression on his face. Mr. Chien, I understand your current mood and what you want to do now, but no matter what you want to do, you have to be patient for the time being. If you are not patient, it will definitely ruin our plan. You have suffered so much, are you really willing to end like this? But when Mr. Chien heard this, a joking smile appeared on his face. Huh, plan, tell me what the plan is. You don't have any ability at all. If you have any ability, then what's the plan behind you? People will not let me here and face that guy Li Baikan here, you should face it yourself. This is all the plan. What's the plan? Huo Linyuan was afraid, so he just said, what are you afraid of? Let me stand in front of you and don't give me much benefit. It's really a good plan, a very good plan. After Mr. Chien finished speaking, he left directly. When the man saw Mr. Chien looking so angry, he didn't waste any time and hurried out of the company. I immediately went to find Huo Linyuan. Li Baikan and others picked up their mobile phones after they went out. Dial a number and go out. Li Baikan explained the situation just now. Sunian's voice rang on the other end of the phone. If you act like this, the whole world will know that your company is in trouble, and more people will see the joke. We are husband and wife. Since we are husband and wife, we should indeed cooperate well. Such a good couple is a husband and wife, Li Baikan said softly. If the person just now was here, he would definitely be scared to death. After all, Li Baikan now he was completely different just now. Sunian over there laughed directly when he heard this. Yes, we are husband and wife. If we join forces, I believe that we will definitely teach that guy a lesson and let him know that our methods are not vegetarian. Humph. Hearing the arrogant voice opposite, the smile between Li Baikan's eyebrows really grew. He thought for a while, and then said, but your words reminded me that since we are husband and wife, then we will always separation is not a problem. I heard that if a couple is separated for a long time, it may affect the relationship between the couple. Affect the relationship between husband and wife. Li Baikan responded softly. But I didn't expect that. As soon as I answered the call, Sunian over there said angrily, we have been together for so long, how could you do this? I just am not by your side, and our relationship as a couple is gone. There is a problem, so what you said doesn't mean that I can only tie you to my belt. If I don't tie you to my belt, then you will definitely change your mind. I have been with you for so long, I really didn't expect you to be such a scumbag. You really are a scumbag. After saying this, he hung up the phone directly. What else could Li Baikan do? He could only smile helplessly. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1380. Chapter 1380. Like a proud little rooster. When Sunian hung up the phone, Sun Ying'er's voice rang next to her. Hey, Nian, I really think you are very smart. No matter where you are very powerful. I can't compare to you. Sunian heard this and looked at Sun Ying'er. What do you mean by this? Why do you feel like you are hurting me by what you said? Sister, why are you acting like this now? Why are you hurting me? How could I hurt you? I just sighed. The way you just spoke made me unable to react. You really? Hey, you don't understand this. This woman should speak more and faster, so that she doesn't give the other party a chance to react, and will take everything into her own hands, such as the current situation. I hung up the phone, then even if he calls to coax me, the chance of coaxing me depends on me. Sun Ying'er thinks it makes sense. Quite reasonable. Next to him, Lu Jing also said, what kind of person is my aunt? She is not a simple woman, so it is very easy to handle Li Baikan. Hey, Don't flatter me casually, it's really a bit. Lu Jing said aggrievedly, why can't I even flatter you now? Am I just like this in your eyes? Sunian immediately threw a sofa pillow over. Lu Jing caught it directly. Hey, when I was in school, I was the goalkeeper of the football team. Don't worry, Aunt, you can throw it casually. No matter how you throw it, I can catch it. In this case, I guarantee that I can play this game with you well. And it will also ensure you have fun playing this game. Sunian saw Lu Jing saying such a shameless thing and wanted to take action directly. But just at this moment, Sunian's cell phone rang. Sunian went to check her phone. While looking at her phone, she couldn't help but ask, Lu Jing, you really know how to smile, but you have been with me for so long, you really don't have the eyesight, I said. As he spoke, Sunian burst out laughing. Originally, Sun Ying'er was just watching the two people playing around with a doting look on her face. But Sunian's current behavior really makes Sun Ying'er curious. Sunian directly handed the phone to Sun Ying'er before he could ask her questions. When Sun Ying'er saw the content on the phone, she didn't know what to say. The reason why this happened is because the video on Sunian's cell phone was a video of Mo Bao being abused. And Mo Bao is taking a nap at home. Then this video. This situation really made Sun Ying'er unable to help complaining, this Huo Linyuan's behavior is really low. I really didn't expect that this Huo Linyuan was so low. Now I really doubt my previous eyes. How could I have fallen in love with such a person before and used such methods? Although Sun Ying'er knows very well that in order to achieve her own goals, she can do anything and use many means. But you cannot use such childish methods. Sunian looked at Lu Jing after hearing this. Sister, you really don't need to say that. After all, if Lu Jing hadn't brought Mo Bao here, what would have happened to us, so I still have to thank Lu Jing this time. After Sunian finished speaking, Lu Jing immediately raised his chest and raised his head, like a proud little rooster. End of this chapter.